Hi, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk. Thanks for tuning in. Your support keeps the channel going. If you like what you see here, make sure you subscribe. Let's get on with the analysis. We are here on Erlenberg. I am in my Tier 8 US Premium Heavy tank, and I am top tier. Hallelujah. We're a little bit light on heavies, and as this is Erlenberg and a defense, I'm going to head over here to the west side. So let's talk about this map a little bit while I move. Actually, I'll go ahead and stop it so we can talk about it. Obviously, there are two main alleys. It's the east side and the west side. The center is a player on this map, but it's very difficult to use. Better suited to scouts or very fast mediums. Sometimes you'll get a heavy droning down there, but it's ill-advised because of all the crossfire opportunities. So you've got the west side, which has the castle. You've got the east side, which is much more open. You'll tend to see TDs and mediums go this way. You'll tend to see more heavies go this way, as well as TDs from the north spawn here and TDs, really anybody camping on this camping hill right here. And that is the general idea of this map. I will go either way. It will kind of depend on what the setup is with the enemy. Based on they have a couple more heavies than us, I'm going to take my heavy this way, just so I can meet their strength with at least a little bit of our strength. If you have a platoon, it's probably easier to push the east side if you've got a platoon to work together. And they sent a T-29 in the middle. So as you are moving up to the west side, make sure you are pointing your turret towards those buildings and towards that way. You may get a scout get in there. You may have one of your scouts light somebody up. If you're fast enough, you can get up on this ridge and you can start to shoot them as they're crossing here if you've got a scout as forward as this 1375. So there's lots of opportunities for early shots right here. Their SP1C got in, SPIC, so unfortunately I'm already spotted. So there's not a lot of opportunity for just sitting on that hill. Already comes in after the low, barely misses me. I'm looking for a shot on the pilot and I get one in there. And now I'm going to run up forward. So there's a couple ways to fight this side. You can sit back and let somebody else do the lighting. The best forward position really is this little this little nook right here by the castle that I'm going to show you how to use. And we're going to call this one Hang On, Sloopy, because things get a little hairy in here, and sometimes all you can do is hang on. So we'll come up here, I'll bounce. That needed to be a quick shot because there are going to be multiple guys. You see the KB4 coming up there. There could be guys camping up on that hill who can hit me. So you've got to be careful. There is a 304. Unfortunately, he's actually over on this side. So that's one of those things you do have to watch for. Already can hit this spot. It's a little bit difficult because it's a back slope. But given enough attempts, they will eventually hit you, as you will see. So they've got an AT-15 in the middle, a Chaffee, a Cromwell, a T-29. They have kind of peanut butter spread across this map, but I am facing some of their tier 8s over here. They've got the IS3. Oh golly, the IS3 came around. So that's just poor SA on my part. He was obviously spotted for quite a long time, and I didn't notice him. I was so enamored of shooting at that KB4, so focused on that guy, that this IS3 just drove up on me. Now, this is an interesting fight, face hugging. He's in worse shape actually than me, face hugging me, because I can get to his little hatches. Well, he could get to mine, but he's also look up when he does it. So I'm look down on the hatches. He's shooting into my upper hole, which is pretty strong, especially at the angle he's hitting it at. And I'm able to do some damage. He ends up actually ammo racking me of all things. So I've got to get rid of this guy. He's a big problem. There's another hit. I make a little bit of a mistake backing off of him. I actually get hit by somebody from up there. And now I push up under. We'll get rid of him. And he's dead. And now I've got to tuck back under. And I'm very surprised I didn't take a bunch of aggro from the pilot. Why I was not being shot by him, I don't know. Unless he was getting spotted while I was fighting the IS-3. So that was an interesting situation right there. But I just did what I had to do to survive. That was my last gold round. You would have noted a little earlier I went to gold while I was facing the KB4. And glad I had it while I was fighting the IS-3 as well. And so now I'm just basically trying to hold on. Now, this is a bad idea by the low. Not smart at all. Brand new player, so he's not really understanding that there's a pilot over there. There's a artillery thumping him, and it's just not going to go well for the low. The other bad thing about it, it's not as big a factor this time, but when your friends die in front of you like that and give the enemy more cover, that is a bummer. Good news there is it doesn't seem to have given him much that he can use. But had he been a little bit further right, that would have been a bit of a nightmare for me. Now the scout came up on the right, the 1375. There I get hit by the arty. That shot goes straight into the dirt, and now I've got to be a little bit more cagey. You got to watch about backing up, so I'm going to actually shift a little here. I don't want to stick too much of my back end around this corner because the pilot can hit down there, even though I'm kind of sitting there right now. And I also want to avoid getting hit by the 304. And one of the reasons I'm not doing any more popping here and being aggressive is I want the 304 to get bored looking for me, right? Of course, I can't pass up the IS-6 moving across the open. That's excellent right there. Oh boy, right into the dirt. Should reload in time. Let me get up here and get a shot on him. There we go. Got a piece of him. No, and I think I take another arty hit here pretty soon. No, I avoided that. That was good. We got the IS-6, the pilot, and oh, holy cow, the KV-4's coming around the corner. Well, that's fine by me, especially if our arty ends up punishing him for it. I still have a few guys helping me in the back. I think he thought he might have been able to get around. I don't know if he really knew what was back there. And we're just hanging on, right? This is what we're doing here. Now this is a good discussion because while this spot is a pretty good forward spot and can dominate this little area right here, it also traps you to fight there unless you get a good push going on. So I don't really have any options as I get pushed. So that's the big negative about this spot. I end up getting hit by the pilot who takes out my engine, and that's the example I said. I hung my rear end out a little too much right there for a little too long, and he puts a shot into it. So now I'm really just holding on. We're winning. That's good. There goes the KV-4, but I've still got the pilot and the IS-6 up here with me. T-29 is still alive in the middle, amazingly, but we've cleaned up over on the east side. So right now I'm just trying to get my buddies back here. He's trying to go for his lower plate, but it was going to be difficult. Now I just don't want to give him a shot on me. What was his best bet right here? His best bet right here was just to come get me, take me out of the game. There's that pilot shooting at me again. But if he just sits there and waits for our guys to close in on him, he's probably not going to have much of a game after that. So one thing you can do while you're looking at your replays is figure out what the other team should have done to beat you. And that will inform you on a lot of things. Things you could have done better yourself. Maybe you see that situation in the future. Oftentimes just pushing a weakened enemy when you're down is a good idea because you can get rid of him before the rest of his team gets there. And that increases your chances by taking a gun out of the game. I fully expected that IS-6 to come around this corner and just wax me. Or maybe him and the T-25, but they're content just to sit back. And pretty soon you'll see the T-25 is up on the hill. No surprise, I'm able to actually back out right here, which is another good deal about sitting at this spot. Pull forward. As I'm reloading, pull back again, and he's dead. And now it's just the IS-6. So I'm just going to come up here in a moment after he gets spotted, I think. Actually, I'm going right now. Just go look for him. I mean, if he kills me, fine. The rest of my team should take him down, but maybe I can get a few more hit points in. Yep, there we go. There's one. He's tracked, so, oh, I fixed it. RNG, thank you. You gave me one back. Actually, RNG gives me another one back here, but it's not quite enough to actually pen him. I actually bounce it off the top of the turret. And now I'm actually trying to back down. If my engine wasn't broken, I probably would have got back around this corner in time to get this shot. But as it is, somebody else nukes him. The Leo kills him. And there you go. So hang on, Sloopy. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just hang on. Again, an aggressive move up forward. Realize there are quite a few negatives about that spot right there. There are situations where it's not going to work. An aggressive enemy team will just come around and take me out. That's a free kill. So if I see a bunch of good players on the other team, I'm probably not going to that spot, especially if they look like they have tanks that they can roll me up with. Because the counter to me doing that is to swarm me, take my gun out of the game nice and fast, and then tuck up underneath all the other defenders over that way. And I've seen that happen plenty. But I hope this helps. And like I said earlier, if you like what you see, subscribe. I appreciate your support, and we will see you.